Hi everybody, welcome back to Sunshine Soap and Candle Company. Today I am really excited to be sharing with you how I make candles in these cute little pineapple containers. I purchased these candle containers from a company called dreamvessels.com, and I'll go ahead and link their store in the description box if you want to head on over there and check out all the unique candle vessels that they carry on their website. They have some really good stuff. And I've been waiting a long time for these to come in, so I'm very excited to be using them today. I also want to focus on how I formulate my batches. So I want to show you today how I get that perfect or near perfect pour. And this is the same method I do every time when I'm using a new container. So the first thing that we want to do is determine how much liquid weight we're going to be using in our total batch. And this is how I do it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get my scale and I'm going to get my container. I'm going to put it on here empty. And then I'm going to tear out my scale. Now I'm going to fill the container with water, and that's going to give us an approximate liquid weight. Now, the Dream Vessels website says that these little containers hold approximately 8 ounces. Liquid weight is different than solid weight, so your ounces are going to be a little bit different. It's always a good idea to check. Also, your wax weight and your water weight is going to be a little bit different. So as close as I like to get, it's not a true exact science unless you're weighing out liquid wax. But this is the way that I do it. So I put this here and I weigh out my liquid weight. So this container holds approximately 6 ounces of liquid weight. So then you need to take your liquid ounces and you need to multiply it by the amount of jars you're going to be using. So I've already done the math here for you, so I can just show you while I explain. So we are using 11 jars, and each jar is going to hold 6 ounces. So we want to do our 6 ounces by 11 jars, and that's going to give us a total weight of 66 ounces. Now that will include your fragrance oil, because if you add in fragrance oil to this 66, your recipe is going to be a little bit too big. So this is going to be your total weight, including fragrance oil. So what you want to do is deduct 10%, because we are using Joy Wax today, and Joy Wax takes a 10% fragrance load. So if we take our total batch and we reduce it by 10%, our new total is 59.4 total ounces of liquid weight. So now we can add our fragrance, our 10% fragrance, to this amount, 59.4. So we go ahead and we take the 59.4 and we add in a 10% fragrance load. And that's going to give us 5.94 ounces of fragrance per 59.4 ounces of liquid wax. So down here, all I did was add these two numbers back together, 59.4 plus my fragrance oil, and that gives me a total of 65.34, which you can see is super close to that first total weight of 66 ounces. So that is how I do it. Again, it's not an exact science because water and wax do have a different liquid volume. So I'm going to show you how this works for me. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is go ahead and start cutting down some of this Joy Wax, and we're going to melt it in this roasting pot. So this roasting pot you have not seen me use yet. We went ahead and bought a bigger one at Walmart, and then my husband installed a faucet with a spigot on the end of it. And this was not my idea, by the way. I got this idea from another candle maker on YouTube named Stanley Handcrafted, and he's got a tutorial on his channel about how to make these yourself, and it's been super helpful. So I'll link that video in the description box so you can go ahead and check out that tutorial if you want to make one of these yourself. Or I think he actually sells them. I think he makes them and sells them as well. If you're not comfortable making it, I think you can purchase one from him. All right, so we're going to go ahead and cut down some of this wax. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and turn this roasting pot on to 200 degrees, and we're gonna let this melt down until it gets to 200 degrees. Okay, we're back and the wax has reached 200 degrees, so now I need to pour off my 59.4 ounces. So I'm just gonna take my pour pitcher, I'm gonna weigh it empty, tear out my scale, and then I'm gonna start to pour the wax into this pitcher using the faucet. So I'm just gonna turn it slowly. Okay, we're just a little bit over, so I'm going to pour a smidge back. Okay, perfect. So now I'm going to take my temperature of the wax in the pour pitcher. And we're still sitting right around 190 degrees. And when you're using Joy Wax, the directions say to add fragrance between 170 and 175 degrees. So I'm gonna let this wax sit and I'll bring you back when we're ready to add fragrance. Okay, so now we're sitting right at 175 degrees, so we're ready to add the fragrance oil. And today I'm using Brandied Pear by Candle Science. It smells really good. Kind of smells like a Anjou pear with some spice notes to it. It smells really good. Very, very nice. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get my pour pot back on to the scale. And we're gonna measure out our 5.9 ounces. Okay, there we go. So we're going to give that a good stir for about 1 minute, back and forth. And then we'll take the temperature again. So you just want to make sure you're stirring really good and kind of scraping the sides and making sure that that fragrance oil is bonding to the wax. So 1 minute is good. One minute each way, back and forth. And I'll bring you right back when we're ready to go ahead and pour some candles. Okay, we're sitting right at 162 degrees, so we're ready to go ahead and pour these into the containers. I find when this thing is really full, it's awkward to pour out of, and you kind of make a mess. The wax sticks to the sides of the containers and it gets all over the counter, so I like to pour it into a smaller container first, about to there. Let's see how close I got on my measurements here. Okay, all the candles are filled up and they've all been topped off a little bit, and this is what I have left. Have about a quarter of a cup of wax left. So this is okay. We'll just go ahead and use the rest of this wax for another batch one time, or you can pour it into a cavity mold and use it for wax tarts. It's always better to have a little bit left over than not enough to fill up all your jars. So there you go. That's how I formulate my batches. And I'm gonna let these set up and show you what I do to the top of them. Be right back for that. Okay, so here are the candles. They're all cured and set up. And so now I'm gonna add a little bit of something to the top here that I wanted to show you. I'm gonna be using some Shimmer Gold Mica powder from Nurture Soap. And this is gonna be a really nice added effect to the top of the soap. It's gonna look really pretty and elegant. So all I'm doing is getting a tea strainer, and I'm putting a little of the mica inside the tea strainer. And then I'm just gonna dust the top very lightly. Just to give it a little bit of extra something, and I think it goes really nice with the brandied pear fragrance. So I'm going to bring you in a little bit closer so you can see how that looks. All right, here is a close-up view of how the tops turned out. Just think they look super pretty. And then here's one finished with a lid on it. This is how it looks all finished off. I think it looks so pretty. All right, everybody, that's the making of brandied pear candles. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share with your friends. Catch you on the next video.